This is Joni, and I finally am able to come back out and try to talk to you guys and let you know what's been going on and everything, because as you probably know, the way that I was looking so forward to Christmas, something nasty had to happen to keep me from filming. And so I'm going to move my camera around. It's a little bit crooked. But anyway, I was doing just fine, you know, making all my videos and everything, and especially the pine cones with standing up on the little Dollar Tree glass stems. And so I was getting along just fine, and then I got that burn on my hand from the hot glue. And I have had countless burns on my hands, time and time and time again. And I just didn't pay any attention to it. And other than the way I usually doctor it, I made sure that it was kept clean. And I put Neosporin on it and things like that. But in the meantime, I had to keep decorating. So I was using my hand where I probably should not have been. And so I put my pencil tree in my kitchen up on Saturday. And it looked really pretty, and I was very pleased with it and everything. So then Saturday I put it up. Then Sunday, I put the one in the dining room up. And Tanya's husband came over. She and her husband came over. And I couldn't climb up to the top of the tree because at my age, I just wouldn't trust climbing that high, especially at Christmas. So, but I can't keep my hands off of things. I just can't do it. I'm used to doing everything by myself. I remind myself there's a girl on TV that does a lot of things by Liz. Is her name. She does a lot of things herself, and that's the way I always was. I never got any help to do any of my decorating. So it's hard for me to watch somebody, even though I'm telling them every step they take and everything they make, they put every place they put something, it's still hard for me to sit there and watch it and not be able to manipulate the things myself. So he put the ribbon on for me, and then I said, that's okay, I can reach the rest of it. So I started putting my flowers and my bulbs and things like that on. And I wasn't there very long at all until I stuck my left hand, which is the hand that has the cellulitis in it. It's still, you can see, it still is pink from it. And it gets real dark brown, and it has a pocket there, and I guess it's just going to have to, I don't know, take time to work its way out or something. But anyway, I put my left hand back inside the tree to put an ornament back inside the tree. And I didn't think that I had the hand that had the burn on it. And one of those flocked needles, and it was very stiff, hit my hand right in the center of that burn. And when it did, it felt like somebody just stuck me with a needle, a very sharp needle that hurt terrifically. And so I jerked my hand back out, and it was bleeding. So I immediately went and washed it with all of this antiseptic washes that you're supposed to use, because Tanya was an OR nurse and she knows all about that, so she was telling me what to wash it with and everything. So I went in and I was washing it and cleaning it and everything and putting medication on it. And I went ahead and continued decorating the rest of the tree. And then the next day, the hand had, it was almost well, the burn was almost well. But it had a round part right in the center of it that wasn't. That's where the needle got me. And so I continued working the next day, but it was getting really big and red and very, very swollen. And she told me, she said, "You're going to have to go to the doctor." And I said, "I don't want to go today. I'm too busy." And she said, "Well, you don't want to wait until everybody is in for the holidays and things like that. And there's a lot of kids in there because you might catch something that you don't need to get." So I went on down to, there's an urgent care near where I live. And so I went down there, and he walked in, he looked at it, and he said, "You have cellulitis." And so he put me on antibiotics. So I was on antibiotics for 10 days. And during that period of time, it would get better, but if I started to put my hand around a tree, I don't care what kind of tree it was, and of course it had to be these trees that I have, it would start getting worse again. Well, in the meantime, I'm getting very, very frustrated because I cannot get my stuff out to do the rest of my decorating with, because for me to do that, I have to go and get in my closets. And because I have them in storage containers in my closets, because I have 4 bedrooms, and I have a lot of space there that I can use to store my stuff. So I was, I couldn't get in there to get that because of my hand. I didn't want to lift with my hand. And I was getting further and further behind, and I knew that. And I just started getting very, very depressed. I was totally depressed. And so my blood pressure started going up. And for 5 days, my blood pressure was 100 and, it was 178 and 180 something over 87 and up in the 90s. And I couldn't get it down. I took 4 blood pressure pills within 12 hours, and you all know what that does. And finally, after 5 days, it started coming down. And during that period of time, the only thing that I could eat were avocados and boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs. And I wasn't hungry. That wasn't a problem with me because I didn't get hungry. I was too upset to get hungry. And so I just kept on going on and eating the avocado and the eggs. And worrying about not having my stuff done because I could see where everyone else was. It's really aggravating when you're sitting at home and you have all of this stuff to put up. And I was going to put out all of my things this year because I have Dickens Villages. I have probably, I'm going to say, 15 or 20 pieces of the Dickens Village. And I have the carolers. I can't even remember the names of them. It's been so long since I've seen them. I haven't gotten them out. They're, I don't remember, but anyway, they're just about like Dickens. I have those carolers. I hadn't gotten them out. And I had several other things that are collectible items and things like that. So, but I just couldn't get to them to get them out. And I was so weak by this time from eating avocados and boiled eggs that I was beginning to get really super, super weak. And I just kept sort of stewing, you might say. I just sit and stew. And I thought, I was sick last Christmas, and I had this horrible virus that I wouldn't even let the family come in, any at all, last Christmas, because I didn't want them to take it, and then their children would have it, and everything, and then their holidays would be messed up. So I chose to stay at home myself. And Tanya would come up and bring food and just come through the garage and pass it through my utility room. And I would go and get it. That's how I ate. But I didn't see anyone all through Christmas nor New Year's Eve. And I did not want to spend another Christmas like that. And I wanted everything out and put up like I really had told you all that I was planning on getting everything out this year. and I was planning on showing my bedroom and everything like that. So I was just getting more and more depressed. And so then, after the blood pressure finally got over that, I got over that, my hand was still messed up. But then I took there was, I went in and I was going to start getting my stuff out. And I was unloading one of the closets. And I had probably about 6 of those containers stacked on top of each other that you can put under your bed. And they were stacked in one of my closets. And I had gotten it down, and Tanya, she was taking the stuff, and I would reach it to her, and then she would take it through into the living room for me. And I got down to the very last bin. And rather than bend over, because you know how it hurts me to bend over with these 2 hernias I have. I'm just a walking medical encyclopedia, that's all you can say. But anyway, I went ahead and I bent over, and the heavier these things got, the farther down I went, the more heavier things that I had packed in them. And I saw that it was going to be heavy, and I thought, oh, daggone it, I'm just going to lift the whole thing and put it up on the bed. So I lifted the container by myself and turned around and put it on the bed. And I could feel my hernias doing things that they weren't really supposed to do, and I could feel something in my back that I definitely was not supposed to be doing. And it was down in the very lower part of my back, and it was killing me. And I had to drop the thing onto the bed. And I had to leave. I just had to leave the bedroom. I couldn't mess with it anymore. I couldn't do anything. So there was my Christmas stuff, not put out. All the trees were decorated except the one in the living room, and that's my main tree. And although I do like the one that I put in the dining room, I really like it. I love it. And of course, I love my pencil tree too, but I really love that one in the dining room. It's unusual to what I've always had. But the one in the living room, it's the way I've always had it. I decorate it the same all the time because I love Victorian trees. And so there was all of my stuff, not all of it, but a lot of stuff in there in my bedroom that I couldn't bring into the living room to go ahead and decorate. And by this time, my back has gone into spasms, and I am walking. I told Tanya, I said, I'm walking like a 90-year-old. And I knew that I should have gone up just a little bit more because I'm not that far from 90. And I'm a pretty good ways, but not that far. And I was walking all bent over. I could barely walk. And I mean, I was moving one leg at a time, very carefully, and placing it down. And by this time, Thanksgiving had rolled around. And of course, I'm used to fixing crazy stuff for Thanksgiving and everything like everyone else. So my son and his family came up for Thanksgiving. And my back was feeling somewhat better. It was still far, far, far from well. But it was a little bit better to where I was not in constant pain all the time because I hadn't gone to the doctor. And so we had chosen not to, I usually have my food put on the dining room table all at one time, and we just sit at the table and eat until we get full. But this time I chose to put it out on the island in the kitchen. And so we were all gathered around the island filling our plates. And I was standing beside my daughter-in-law. And all of a sudden, my left leg started pulling me sideways. And I have never had that happen in my life. I've never heard of it happening to anyone else that I have known. or that I didn't know. I've never heard of it, period. But it started hurting so badly, I thought I was going to lose my mind. And it was pulling me sideways, and I started just bawling. And everybody's looking at me, what in the world's the matter with you, Mom? What's wrong? What's wrong? And the chairs were not too far from the bar, the island, thank goodness. And I headed toward that because that leg was pulling me in sideways. It was actually pulling me sideways. I was walking sideways. And I hit the first chair I came to and sat down. And I was crying so hard. And I said, my back is killing me. I can't stand it. And they, of course, were all concerned, and there was Thanksgiving ready to be eaten and everything. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it again. And I'm just messing everything up. And of course, they didn't feel like that, but I did. And so I just sat there for probably 20 minutes, maybe half hour, I'm not exactly sure. And it started easing back down enough until I could tolerate the pain. And so then I went ahead and walked very, very carefully to the dining room and sat down in my chair in there, and we had dinner. But that, I have never, well, I guess childbirth would be the thing that I would put closest to that pain. And it was horrible. So it got gradually better again, and it kept getting better and better as the week went on and everything. But if I would get my hand around anything around the tree, it would start getting really red. It's red right now. It's even more red than it was a while ago when I showed you, but it gets a brown pocket all along. You can't see, all along through here, and it raises up, and it feels like I'm getting arthritis in those fingers now. And I think that there is poison still in there. I think there's some of that flocking still in there, and it's causing havoc in my hand. So every time I would start to decorate on my tree in the living room, it would start in on me. And so Tanya came over one evening, and she helped me for probably about 2 hours or three, maybe 3 hours. And she would climb up on the ladder and about 2 steps up on the ladder. And I would reach her the ornaments, and then she would put them on. But we couldn't get near the top because I didn't want her to climb that high. And I went up 2 steps and was putting them on up there. But I got afraid that I would fall, and then Christmas would totally be destroyed. And because I didn't want a broken hip to go along with everything else. So in the meantime, I developed a bladder infection. And, oh my gosh. So I go back to the doctor, and I tell them I've got a bladder infection. So they put me back on antibiotics again. So there I'm on another 10-day bout of antibiotics. So that's 20 days I've been on antibiotics. And I come back, and I continue just going in. I'll go in and work a little bit on my tree and work a little bit on my tree. But I never did get the angel up on the top because I had no way of getting up there. And I would just put a few things, and there are things that still have not been unpacked that go on my tree. And there was a lady that loved my tree so much, and I can't remember her name, and she had written me, and she said that she had tried to make her tree exactly like I had mine last year before last, and that there was something lacking in her tree, she thought, and she was waiting for me to get mine finished so that she could see what she felt she was lacking. And I thought, now I'm letting her down too. And I just felt like I was letting everybody down. And so it just kept getting worse and worse, and I kept getting more and more depressed, and it was just terrible. So I wasn't able to do anything more with the tree. I just had to leave it the way it was, and I uh, didn't get to decorate my mantle the way I wanted to. I didn't get to decorate the inside of the fireplace like I wanted to. I didn't get to put my things out in all through the house like I wanted to. Didn't get to decorate my bedroom at all. But I didn't was able unable to do anything to it. And so I just got the um, a tablecloth that I really was not that particularly fond of on my dining room table, and I had some chargers that I stuck on there, and I think some little deer is on it. But I'll show you all of what I was able to do, and it's leave it to Joni to come dragging in 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks after Christmas. I don't even know really the date. But it's way after people have shown their homes and things. But anyway, I will go ahead and show you what I did get done and everything. But I wanted to explain to you, finally I started getting better. And I was able to go ahead and decorate a little bit of the bottom part of the tree and put some of my other things on it. And then I went to the doctor today, and they're wanting to do, of course, some more testing on me and everything. But as of right now, I'm feeling much, much, much better. And I'm able to walk now. But now I sat in the, I went to the doctor, and my appointment, I was taken into the office, I would say, within probably about 15 minutes after I arrived. And I go back in there, and I sit in the examining room for, I would say, a good hour and probably 15 minutes. And it is so cold back in there that it would freeze you to death, just about. So I finally just got up and I opened the door, and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to open this door. I said, this room is just so cold. I said, I'm going to have a really bad cold or something from just sitting here in this room. So they just laughed and said, okay. And then she came in, and she was in there with me about, I'd say 7, 8 minutes, probably. And I was ready to leave. But it's just so aggravating to be sick like that, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, and I don't like. I wish that illness was not a part of things that go on the earth, but unfortunately, that's one of the things that we have to have. So I'm going to get up, and I'm going to turn my camera around, and I'll show you now. You'll have to excuse the way that things are, because I haven't been able to do a lot of cleaning. Well, I haven't done any cleaning. It's just the way it was when we had Christmas, and my son and his wife and their kids came over for Christmas, and then my daughter and her husband, they were here Christmas, and we had a really nice Christmas with the dinner and everything, and I enjoyed that immensely, and it helped me to get rid of some of that depression. But I was still so depressed because I hadn't been able to get out. I hadn't been outside the house for about probably 3 weeks, and that's not good, especially at Thanksgiving and Christmas, when everybody else is going to Christmas parties, and they're going out shopping, and they're doing all this and that. And I did not, I went to the little store that's near me and bought some things for the children. And the rest of them, I just had to give gift certificates because I was not able to go out to get gifts. And I do not like giving gift certificates. I think they're so impersonal. And I just don't like it at all because I am used to shopping and getting people I think Christmas is the time that if you can possibly at all, you get things that you normally would not get. And something that you've been wanting for a long time or something and you've been really wanting. And then you get it. And to me, that is the fun of opening packages and things like that. And that's the way I've always done my family. And but this time, no, it wasn't that way. It was just, they were very pleased, and they were happy that I was well and that we were all getting along well and everything. And that is the main thing, that we're truly blessed by recovery. And Tanya told me that you all were praying for me, and that sure helped. And I haven't written to anyone because I have not felt really like it. And like I said, I was so depressed until I didn't feel that I had anything myself to offer to anyone else because I was so depressed. And usually I'm very upbeat and I am happy and everyone, when I go into the doctor's offices, and they'll say, "My goodness, I hope I'm doing as well as you are when I get your age." And that's the way I've always been all my life, and I've always had the motto, "I will laugh instead of cry." But I think that this one was just too much, especially after last Christmas. Now, if I hadn't had last Christmas like I did, it might not have been as hard, but that was 2 Christmases that basically, but I still was able to enjoy the family when they came in, so at least I didn't have to spend it alone. But I just wanted to get all of my things out and really decorate because I haven't seen them for so long that I wanted to see them and put them out. And I love decorating with them, and I love decorating, period. That's one of the things that I really and truly love to do is decorate. And I have been like that all of my life, and it just comes natural to me. So I'm going to stop yammering around here so much, and but I feel like I haven't talked with you guys for a couple of years. It seems like I feel like I've been in prison war camp or something, and I've just been set free. So I'm just thankful that I'm able to get back on and start telling you what was wrong with me, and that it wasn't because I was just sitting here twiddling my fingers, because I wasn't. I was twiddling my fingers, but not because I just wanted to twiddle them out. I couldn't do anything else. But anyway, I'm going to show you, I guess first of all, I'll show you my tree here in the kitchen. And for those, there may be some people who didn't see it, I don't know, but I'll turn my camera around and we'll see what I can do. And I'll be right back. Okay, guys, this is my pencil tree in my kitchen. And I have to keep going backward and backward. And I'm holding on to my island as I back because I sure don't want to fall. But I'll move close to it so you can get a better view of how it looks up closer. But I really do. I love this little tree. It really made me happy when I was finished with it. And it didn't take me all that long to do it. I just started out with the berries and the ribbon, and everything else just sort of fell in line. And I had that butterfly. Like I said, I usually like to have an angel or a star in the top of my trees, but I didn't have one this time, and I wasn't able to get out to get one. So I just found that butterfly in my studio, and I put it on, and I liked it really well. And this is some more of the views from the side. And then, of course, I have the little door knockers on my doors. And this is a new sign. It isn't hanging the way that I normally would hang it. Not at all. I wouldn't have that long string up there hanging. It wouldn't work. And then I have that hanging on the door. And then I have the, as I said, you'll have to excuse the way things look because I have not been cleaning or anything. That's just one of the signs that I have. For unto us a child is born, and that's what Christmas is all about. And there's some rolls that are still sitting there. And that little joy sign, I got that. I like it. And then this is Noah, a picture of Noah and my bananas. At least I'm ready to laugh. And I think I'm going to be hopefully laughing quite a bit. But I really like him. He has the dove and the ark in his hand, and Noah's ark in his hand, and then the little animals are all around his feet and everything. And then I have this joy sign up here. And I like it. And then I just have the front of my refrigerator decorated the way that I do with some of those clings put on. Then I have this little thing. I bought this last year. It's about Rudolph and all of the reindeer, and this is their training place that they go to. And the little deer here, he has a whistle in his mouth, and he's telling them when to go up and come down the ladder. And there's one up here on top that reminds me so much of our Apache. He's so nosy and everything, but he's watching out for the people down here. I mean, for the dogs down here that are. One's already splattered and hit the bag that they land on. And then this is just some more, there's my tea bag. I haven't fixed my tea. And those are just some little houses that they just landed there. Let's put it that way. I didn't place them there. They just landed there. And those just landed there too because I would not have them sitting there. And then that's not the way that I would decorate my table at all. And but it's just some things that were never removed from the table, and it landed there that way. That's some other things that landed there. And then we come in here in the living room. I probably should have some more lighting in here. Turn the light on. These are some of my Norman Rockwell stocking holders. Now, I have the Norman Rockwell. I didn't even get him out. The large Norman Rockwell that I had sitting before on my end table with his chair and everything. And there's one of each of the, that's the one that I have the big one like. And then there were others made like these. I would like to have gotten one of each, but I couldn't find any more after I got the one. Then that's a Santa that I had bought. And he matches the mauve that I usually have in my tree. And then, of course, here is the, you can see the bins over here. I got some new things to hopefully get my studio straightened out. So everything's been taken out of those and they're just sitting there. And so that is a new nativity scene that I got. And then I bought these little trees. I have those. And then that's my rocking horse. And this is the way the mantle looks this year. Don't even have the candles up on top, as you can see. And so I hope my camera is not getting ready to. I think it is. I'm going to have to probably stop for a little bit and charge my phone. I didn't realize that it was low. I should have checked it beforehand, but I was so... I'm going to stop for just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I've got my phone charged now, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what I was showing you before. I was showing you my Norman Rockwell stocking holders, and I've had these for probably, oh, since the 90s, the early, probably about 91 or 92, something like that. And I really do, I love all of them. I'll get a real good close-up of them. Um, and these are all collector's items. And that's the one I have, one just like it, except it's about 12 inches tall, and he sits on the end of my end table. I'd like to have had one of the big ones of each of these, but I couldn't find any of them. And then this is the manger scene that I bought, and it's new. And then these are my stockings that I bought. I bought those the same time I bought the Norman Rockwell holders, and I think that they're just adorable too. I love them, and they're supposed to be on my mantle, but I forgot about them. I was so ill that I was going to put them on the mantle, and this is the mantle, and I don't even have my candles up there on it because I couldn't get up there to do it. And the lights, I don't have as many lights as what I wanted. And then this little, it's a big lantern. It has the picture and the things in it where Sophie got for me that has the angel reaching down, touching the little girl's hand, reaching her something, and I put that in my lantern. And as you can see, I didn't put anything on the top of it or anything. And then, of course, this is my horse that is a collectible item, too. I've had it for years and years, too. Probably about 10, 11, 12 years. And then this is what got me in trouble with my cellulitis. I was fixing one of these, and I got the hot glue dropped on my hand. But these are just some deer that I had before. And then this is a little thing that I bought at, let's see, it's Big Lots, I believe is where I got that. I really like it. Then I have some snow globes down here. I've got one, I don't know where. I'm supposed to have 2 snow globes, but I don't know where it is. It must, it's up here without anything. As you can see, it doesn't even have anything sitting on it. But it's one of the snow globes that I bought. And then this is a piece of decor that I had at my house when I lived up north, and those little owls belong to my mother, and they are ancient. They're probably 60 years old, I would say, and so I've got them down here, and I always kept them in there when I was up there. Then this is the mantle, not the mantle, the lantern that I have up on top of here, and it has the luminary candle in it. And I've got another luminary candle I didn't even get to put out, and that I was going to clean my silver, and I didn't get it cleaned. It's actually starting to, you can see around the top of that teapot that It's turning a little bit and needs to be taken out and cleaned. But this was what was in our flood, and everything that was in here now was in it yet then. And this thing was completely on its back in the floor in our house, and we had 8 feet of water in our house. And all of these antique dishes and everything were in there. And the only thing that we had broken was one of those little glasses that goes to the keg. And we lost the little cork that goes down into the keg. And then, of course, that's my little tree house that with the little birds that I like so well. I said that I think it's the middle one. Reminds me of my mother so much. She always wanted to get so dressed up and everything. And she would have her mink hat and her mink stole thing around her neck, and she and Daddy would always take off to town to run around. They were the travelers, and that's my little chair over there. I had it since I was 4 years old, and then I guess these are some of my pillows that I was able to get those out. And then this, I don't have anything in my churn. I was going to take this over here, the greenery, and I was going to take it and put it into my churn. But I didn't get a chance to do it. I was just too ill to do it. And this is a little Old World Santa that Tanya bought for me back in the 90s, and I loved him, and that got me into making Old World Santas. And then that's one of my cloches that I made for my channel. And then this is just an arrangement that I just sort of put together, just sitting there with several things, and I just started putting it together, and it's no big deal. But it's in a dough bowl, and I think it's pretty. It filled the bill, let's put it that way. And these are some carolers that I have, but they're not the real carolers like I have somewhere put away. But maybe I'll get to see them someday. I hope so. And then that's several more birds that I love those birds. I think they're so cute. I just love them. And then I didn't get to put anything on my arches this year because I just couldn't make it because of my hand and everything, and so I didn't get to put anything on. But I put my things that hang from my lights, switches, my lamp switches. And then I have the another nativity scene here. And if I had had time, I would have put lights around it and everything and surrounded it with some greenery or something. And then that's just another lantern that I have. It's really quite tall. It doesn't look it in the picture, but it is. And this is a peace sign that I bought. Oh my, it's probably bought back in the 80s. And it has B-E-A-C-E. And of course the A has the baby Jesus rocking in his little cradle there. I think that is beautiful. I love it. And this is my angel that never made it to the top of the tree. She is a Louis Nicole, and I love her, but she didn't make it up there this year. So, and then this is my tree. I still have some of the things, well, several of the things that go in my tree, but there are several, probably about this many again, that are not in my tree. Now this is the little doll that, an angel that I bought for my Tanya, and a Badgie, our German Shepherd, got her off of the tree one year and chewed her in two right in the middle of her, in her middle section. And I was able to put it back together and sew it, and you can't tell anything went wrong. And then these are just ornaments and things that I have made or had I bought, and from different places and everything. I love the violins. I dearly love the violins. I have several, and the ballerinas. I knew that Sophie would love those, and then those are glass. The pair there is glass. I've got several of those different things there, and as you can see, Tanya and I couldn't get too high up there. But there's an apple, and then there's the church, and I always have to have the church and everything in. Then there's several ornaments in there. There's another one of my violins. It is humongous. It doesn't look very big, but I can show you in comparison to my hand. It's much bigger than my hand is wide. I love it. And then I love fruit, especially if I can find one close like that are look like they have ice on them. I love that kind of fruit. And then I take just flowers and put them in there. And then there are several of these this is a ballerina slipper. And I have had it it's a Louis Nicole. I've had it since the 80s. And then the little girl sitting there in a swing, I've had her since I bought the little ballerina slipper. And then there's another ballerina dancing. And then there's another ballerina. And there's some more of the fruit that I told you that I like. And then this is a new ornament. I had to get a red truck to put on my tree, because what would your tree be without a red truck the way they are these days? And then this is just some more ornaments that this little piano, it's supposed to go up higher than where it is here. It is one of the crystal things that I had from before. And there are Louis Nicole hearts. I had hearts, several hearts. And I don't know, I guess they're not unpacked yet. And then there's some ornaments up there that are handmade, the little deer. I think that was made by Chris. I'm not sure. I think that's one of the things he made in school when he was little. Then there's another violin, I believe it is. And it's just things like that I love putting. Drums. I had drums because he plays drums. He still plays them. He started out on a bass drum, and he told me he wanted to play the drums, and I said, okay. I said, but he wanted to know if I'd buy him a trap set. And if those of you who don't know what a trap set is, don't feel bad. I didn't either. But it's a set of drums that has about 10 pieces to it. Has a bass and cymbals and snare drums and whole bunches of things. And I said, I won't get you a trap set right now. I said, but if you start out on your drums and you practice and you really see that you like them, and I see that you're going to stick with it, I said, I'll get you your trap set. So he started playing a bass drum, and he would march until I would go to pick him up at the parade route where it ended, and he would have a blister on his hand that would be bigger than a 50-cent piece, and he loved every minute of it. So I told him, I said, okay, I said, we'll go get your drum, your trap set. So we went and bought him a 10-piece trap set, and he played it all through high school and college. And he still plays for churches, the drums. Now this is my little, so I always had drums around at my Christmas things because he loves them so much. This is one that is sort of beach oriented because it has the little shells and things in it. It's a Santa elf. And that clock was bought for me by the kids. And there's my mama. I bought her, I think it was year before last, and I had her hanging on there because I knew that Sophie would want a mama on her tree. That's one of my paintings that I did. And everyone looks at this little bird down here, and I think I'm gonna fix it, but I painted it like the guy did in the book. It looks sort of disheveled and just about done in. And so I painted it the same way, but you can see the mist there in the swamp. And I love that painting. I really, really do. But I'm not very fond of this little crane down here, or egret. But this is the greenery that I just, as I would pull it out of the box, I just start sticking it in the basket that I had there. And then I was going to switch it over to the churn. And then that, of course, is the thing that I keep in front of my door. And then this, I think most of you have seen this. This is the first thing that I did for cross stitch. And I saw it in a boutique, and these are all beads. Her whole dress from here down, and up here it's all beading. I'm not showing with the camera. This is all beading, and this is all beading. And I didn't know how to do the cross stitch, but I told Tanya, I said, I will learn because I want that. So I took it home and I learned how to put it on the, I didn't have any help or anything. I just learned how to put it to where it wouldn't be too high or too low or to the side one way or the other too much. Now, you're getting ready to go. Here is a picture up here I have. This is a picture of Pensacola Beach. And that cross up there was put there, I think it was during the Civil War or before the Civil War. And then, of course, this is pillows that I have on my couch. But I love that cross. And Tanya and Melvin bought me that picture. And I put it up there. And I like all of this stuff. And I love my clock and everything. But this is we're going into my dining room now. And it looks just about as pretty with the lights off as it does with them on. Really, you can see the tree, I think, better. I'll film it a little bit like this, and then I'll turn it back on. This is the arrangement that I was just stuck on there with on a tray that and I stuck some balls around on it, and the flowers are sort of keyed to the tree, so that it'll be sort of about the same color. This is the cloth that I was telling you about that I was not particularly fond of, but I didn't have a way of, well, I couldn't get out, let's put it that way. I was unable to go. So it's on there. And then these are some things I bought before I got sick. The basket in the middle, and then the deer, and then the little, oh dear, here goes my mind. I know what his name is. I can't think of it. Anyway, I've got some of those real ones too. But now this is another painting that I love dearly that I did. It's of a swan out in the lake, and there's some little swans behind her, or to the side, and that's the city over there in the background. My sister had one just like it, and I sat down in a chair beside her, down from her painting, and sat there and sketched it on, and then I went ahead and painted it probably about a month or so I painted it. Now this is the way that my hutch is decorated up on top. And this is all of my dishes that I was telling you all before that took me 3 days to take them all out and wash them and dry them and put them back, because I will not put that in a dishwasher because they're all antiques. Now this is my tree, and you might be able to see it better with the lighting on. Let's see. Here we go, all the way up. And I love this, and when I saw these brown flowers, I thought, I love those, but I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with them, but they really speak to me. I got them at Hobby Lobby, and I brought them home. And then when I started putting the tree up, I thought, oh, that's what I want on that tree. I'm going to put it right on there, because it was going with a lot of the other decor. And I have some of the very large balls in it. And this is the one that I sat and told Melvin where to put the ribbon coming down, exactly where to put it and how to loop it and how much poof to put in it. Those are flowers that I have had here for quite a while, and I had them sitting. You probably remember seeing them over in the corner, and I told you that I kept flowers sitting over in my corner so that when I needed them I could go get them. Well, my flowers are gone now, but they came in very good use because I put them in my tree. And you might be able to see that this is a little bit better. Oh, and this is one of the things that I bought. I better get back a little bit. I got that before Thanksgiving, I believe it was. And I really liked the saying on it, but it was white, and I did not like it white. So I distressed it, and it's just having a place to go is home, having someone to love is family. Having both is a blessing, and it truly is a blessing. And I did that. I made a video of that. I was distressing it on one of my videos. And then I bought this mirror, and it was white. And I also made a video of it. I distressed it, and I love it. And I got another one that is bigger than this one, I believe. And I'm going to put it, I think I'm going to put it in in the living room. I think I may put it in there where my painting is. And I may put my painting in my studio. I'm not sure. Not really sure. But that's how I got things at least put up a little bit. Now these are my dishes, and I still have ornaments that I made 2 years ago, and I still have not taken them out because I forget every Christmas to take them out. And this one I sure didn't think about it. But these are all things that I told you that Mommy had, and she gave me these when I first got married. And she still had a hutch totally full that she had gotten from her mother. And I have had these things, well, since we were married. I've had these things about 45, 50 years, or 50, more than 50. But that's some of my ornaments that I made. So you get an idea from those. Some of you like to look at ornaments to see how you can make them. And that little blue picture, now those, it was bought for my mother. That is for the sugar, and then this is the creamer. My brother bought that from my mother when he came back from the war in the 40s. And she gave those to me. Those were bought for one of my showers when I was getting ready to get married. And I have 6 of them somewhere. I'm supposed to have 2 more somewhere. I don't know where they are. Then up here I have the little pitchers that they used to serve you back, way back. When you go in and order coffee, they'd bring you cream, and it would be in these little pitchers, or these little milk things sitting there, look like little milk glass containers. And that's what your milk came in. And down here is something that I can open this. Let you see. Sophie, when she was about 5 years old, I took her down to a little place that makes ceramics. And she picked out what she wanted to make, and she made this. And if I drop this, I'm going to scream. And look at its mouth. She made a heart on her mouth for Mama. And I keep her in my hutch for her so that one day she can have it. And in the meantime, it's kept safe for her. And then I have some eggs in here that were given to us at different times. And just different. A little bell up here, this Liberty Bell, that belonged to my mother-in-law. She gave it to me. And then, that churn, don't look at what's in it, because that was just in one of the bags that we were going through. And it had a lot of baby's breath in it. And I told Tanya, I said, just stick this somewhere. I don't care where you stick it. And she stuck it in the churn, and it, as you can see, it's still there. But that is a churn that belonged to my mother-in-law. And then the one in the living room, it belonged to her too. And so this is just about, I don't think I showed you that little thing. I haven't even moved it around or fluffed it up or anything. It's just the way it came out of the thing. And I would have put a bow on it and all such things, but I didn't get to. So, but this is the end of my tour, and so that's the end of my tour, guys, and I hope that you will enjoy it, because it has been long enough getting here to be put up, and it wasn't really that much, you know, it wasn't all there and everything. So, but I hope that you enjoyed what I did have up. And I didn't show you my plates or anything for those of you who have not seen it, but I collect Bing and Grundle and Royal Copenhagen plates, and I have them around the tops of my cabinets. So I'm going to get off here because this is a long video, but the way I look at it, I deserve it. I deserve it because I've been sick so long that I deserve being able to talk to you guys and telling you how much I appreciate you, and I appreciate your prayers and your kindness and your friendship and your loyalty. And I pray that God will bless you with the coming year and make it a year that will be so fabulous that you will remember it above all the other years in your life. That would be one wish that I would wish for you. And I wish the same thing for our country, that we would have a fabulous year and be so proud and everything. And just remember that I love all of you guys. And I may not be here all the time, but when I'm not in body, I am in mind. But I do love you. And most of all, more so than that, I always tell you, just don't forget that God loves you. And He deeply, deeply loves you. So I'll let you go, and I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.